Okay, my friends, so we are going to be doing a review on another binocular right now. This is zoomed in a bit with my phone, and let's zoom back out. So this particular binocular is the French Deraisme Paris. I don't know how to pronounce that. Leirop 8x30, which is an 8 times magnification with a 30 millimeter objective lens, and these are actually pretty darn small. These are very, very small binoculars, very small, and these are going to be from the 1950s. Now, Jason Brand and Bushnell, like I've said before, they didn't produce anything. They just bought and imported stuff, and I know that the Jason Brand did import French stuff before they went to Japan, and I know obviously the French would use their binoculars during wartime, but so these are going to be 1950s, and I'll show you a little bit more stuff there. Now, this particular brand did have 3 complaints from, if you read stuff about it, they did have 3 complaints from people. One of them was that the lens was too small, which I can attest to that. And even though these are deep eye cups, which normally, if you saw any of my other videos, the deep eye cups were actually still quite comfortable, glasses friendly, very nice eye relief, comfortable, very, very comfortable eye relief. These, on the other hand, are not going to be glasses friendly. The eye relief is fine. It's not terrible. It's not uncomfortable. But given everything that I've seen with my other binoculars, there's definitely other binoculars that are much, much, much more comfortable when it comes to eye relief. So these are not bad, completely useless, okay, in that respect. But that is one thing that people complained about. Another thing was that the image had some warping on the edges or some bending on the edges. And I kind of don't really see that too much. Sometimes I see it a little bit more than others. Definitely when you wear your glasses with this thing, it's really bad, really bad. But I don't really see the warping of the edges. I don't know if you do, but I don't really see that. And so I'm going to give that maybe not such a true statement. But another thing that people complain about these binoculars is that they tended to be a little bit on the cloudy side. In other words, the image wasn't super sharply clear and super sharply and clear. Now, right now, it is not really a fair assessment to make because it is a bit hazy. You can see that it's hazy there. Even right in front of me, it's a bit hazy. In other words, the colors are kind of washed out because the sun is so bright, and it's a bit of a hazy day. You can see out here the Chino Valley. It's a bit hazy, so it's not really fair, and I do need to clean the lenses out a lot more. I've done a good job of cleaning them, but I got to clean them more. So those 3 things are the things that people complain about. One of them I can agree with. 2 other ones not so much. One of them not so fair. But in any case, these binoculars are have mostly aluminum style frame. This is plastic, still very 50s, very 1950s style, 60s and such. But for the most part, this whole thing is going to be some sort of aluminum alloy. Now, let's take a look at the lens here. This is the lens cover, which is aluminum metal. This is the lens and housing. As you can see, I did a pretty good job of cleaning the lens. And the whole frame here, the whole lens, the holder, is aluminum. Now, to access the lens itself, you don't come from the front. You access it from the back. And that black ring is going to be the locking ring. So if you remove that, the lens will pop out and you can either clean it, replace it, do whatnot. Now, interestingly, this dust cover or this cover has no screws. That's because it's held in place by the lens itself and the lens cover. Interesting. So we can see that here. Let's go ahead and turn it around because we're not going to be looking at the mountains anymore. Okay. So as you can see here, the lens cover, the lens housing, that's what holds this plate in place. No screws. And here it says made in France. Although I don't know why it would say made in France if it's supposed to be fabriqué in français, right? Fabriqué, fabricado, fabriqué in like Belgian. Anyway, Why does it say Bain and Bell? Was this an import? Anyway, so this particular binocular with its prisms has this black metal cover over the prism, and those are designed to prevent glare. Now, this binocular is slightly misaligned, and I need to go into the back and see how I can align it, because it does not have eccentric ring circles. Otherwise, I just showed you that the lens on that thing just pops out with one locking ring in the back, and so it definitely does not use eccentric ring system. This does not have prism adjustment system either. Okay, this is, again, if it was World War One or pre World War II, pre 1930s, this would be actually leather. This is some sort of a plasticky stuff, so it definitely is not pre World War II. And like I said, there are no adjustment screws on this binocular. Okay, no adjustment screws. So that means that I have to go into the back. I have to open up the back here and see how this works. So let me just, oops, wrong one. So this one here. Okay. So these here basically pop open like this. Okay. All right, they come open like this. Now you have to be very careful when you do this. Okay, you have to be very careful. With the left one, not so much, because it's connected to the center roller. This is all going to be one piece. Okay, all going to be one piece. A lot of times this is separate from this, depending on the binocular, but a lot of times I've seen that this is separate from that, and you see little screws inside to release the lenses. So these lenses here are held in place with this little notch for both of them, except that this one here is the diopter, which is independent, the independent focuser one. Okay, so you have to be careful when you pop open these, because you could damage it. And there's a screw that's holding this diopter, because since it's a focuser, it's also that screw there holds that in place. This one does not have it because this is connected to the center. So this is very typical of the brand and style to operate these binoculars. This, of course, is a bit just simpler. There's no micro screws like in other binoculars. This I can't really pop it out right now, but that little slot there keeps this piece together. From that, you can then access the lenses from the inside, and that's how it's going to be. So once I remove this part here, I'll be able to see inside to see how I can adjust the alignment, see what I can do about that. But in any case, is this binocular one that I would recommend for the average? I'm gonna go bird watching, hunting, shooting, this and that. Unfortunately, I have to give it a big thumbs down on that. There's too much competition, way too much competition that does a much better job, a much simpler job at amazing prices. Like I said, I bought some of my stuff for like $5, $15, $10, $20. And I paid $20 for this, which is fine because it's a bit of a collector's piece for me. But again, would I recommend this for regular general use? No, there's just way too much other better stuff out there. Much easier to use, much better eye relief, glasses friendly, everything under the sun. The only thing I can tell you is for you reenactors. So this message is for you reenactors. This binocular is perfect for World War II style stuff. Okay, those of you who know about binoculars from World War II, you know that the short, stumpy binoculars were very popular, especially in the German army. And the Carl Zeiss binoculars can be very expensive. And so if you're a reenactor, these would be absolutely perfect for your reenacting adventures. And other than that, for general purpose, unfortunately, I'd have to give this a big no, because there's just too much better competition out there for this. Way too much better competition. So anyway, my friends, I hope you, if you have ones that like this that are really sharp focus and all that kind of other stuff, you know, chime in, because I wouldn't mind buying another French stuff. I don't really have any French stuff, just 2 now, and I'd be interested in hearing that. So thanks again for watching my video, and I hope that this was helpful to you. Thank you.